Yep, but I'll be the guide today.
God damn. No grip at all. Oh, fuck.
Oh, come on! Bring me the pittons.
Alright, man. Just wait till the fucking morning. Bitch, don't you sleep? I don't understand how to read that. Climb up.
Right on. All right, I'll get started without the pirate scrap. Got them.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Bro. Dude. What the fuck?
Oh, yes.
Oh my god.
Are these animals? Things are about to get serious.
Alright, goddammit. How the fuck am I not clipped in? How in the fuck am I not clipped in? Bullshit, bro. That's bullshit. No.
Pittons.
Be sure to loot the gym before you leave. You can find coins, an empty bottle for more water on the trail, and 2 extra pittons. Or 3 if you completed the advanced training and opened the reward box in the back. You can spend the coins at the vending machine. If you want to know what the vending machine items are, check my Google workbook. The link is in the description. The holds feedback setting is very helpful in learning what's a good placement for her hands and feet and what isn't. You can find coins, an empty bottle for more water on the trail, and you'll know that you placed her hand or foot in a good spot. Or you see a square completed the advanced training and open the reward box in the back. While you don't have to have all 4 limbs placed solidly to climb without the vending machine. It helps if you want to know what the vending machine items are in good check my Google workbook. The link is in the description. If you don't place a limb in a good spot and you want to, hit the cancel button to try again. The hold feedback setting is very helpful in learning what's a good placement for her hands and feet and what isn't. Water is very important. Don't just look for obvious streams and ponds. Look for cracks in the rock as well that you can fill your water bottles as well as her. Be sure to forage for food. My Google workbook has all of the recipes that I've found so far, and the game's wiki has recipes as well. The link to their wiki can be found in the description alongside my Google workbook link. If you've run out of room in your backpack, you can try to shake it up and make more space, but most likely you'll want/need to either eat or drink something or compost something. Composting trash you find along the way or items you don't want can create chalk that you can use for extra grip during the climbs. Grip makes her limbs get tired slower and be compatible with more surfaces. Often you can fill up your water bottles without ever even leaving the tent. Select the empty, partially empty bottle and see if a prompt shows up above the item box. Keep in mind that if you have a bottle that has something that's not straight up water, like a tea or an infusion, you won't be able to refill those from the tent. As you test recipes, you might come across one that provides more than just hydration. Raspberry juice is a good early example that gives you both hydration and energy. By using the water in her canteen instead of a regular water bottle, you'll have access to it on the quick use D-pad buttons and you won't need to go into the backpack to drink it. As you can see on the screen, as I drink the raspberry juice, both her energy and hydration levels are filled. Just because you've combined 2 ingredients to make something doesn't mean you can't add a 3rd ingredient. In this example, I added honey to water to make extra sweet water. Then I added juniper to that, giving me more than I would have had I just mixed water and juniper. Certain food items can often give you certain boosts. Sweet items like honey often will give the food a burst buff, which is shown by the little running person. Don't worry if you don't get a perfect pitten. Keep the scraps, and next time you pitch the tent, you can use them to create a new pitten. 2 scraps will get you 1 new pitten.
What is a barometer exactly?
It's pronounced thermometer.
The barometer will help you track the time in the weather. You can check it in the tent or through the quick item D-pad buttons. For the weather, note that it runs about 15 seconds ahead of schedule. So if the needle is moving from rain to sun, it'll continue to rain for about 15 seconds before actually turning sunny.
Hey Arthur, guess who's back? I'm sure you miss me terribly. I know that you are the one doing all the work. I'm quite aware of that.
Keep an eye on her energy and hydration levels. Once you learn a few recipes, you can choose to put a drink in her canteen that will help refill more than just hydration. If you need to get into her backpack during a climb for something more, you'll need to set a piton and go off belay to access it. Get in the habit of using the review route before you start a climb and during a climb. It's incredibly helpful when planning your route and if you're not sure which direction to go while already climbing. On PlayStation, it's the L1 button. Then within that view, hit triangle and you'll be able to move the camera around a lot more. You can also use the L1 review route to see how well you did after you completed a climb. The yellow and greens were smooth sailing, whereas the red areas were more difficult. The green circles are where you placed pitons. If you're climbing at night or you just hit a dark corner, turn on the flashlight. It's in the L2 section of your quick items. When choosing a route, I like to pick routes that have ledges partway up. That way, in case I use a lot of pitons on the way up, I can use that ledge to ask Climbot to retrieve them, and then use them again for the second half of the climb. And lastly, there are more handholds than you might think. Make sure Hold's feedback is on and just try out different locations for her hands and feet until you get a square indicator noting a good hold. Any horizontal or vertical line on the rock is often a good place to start.
If the bag fits, I'll fit. To worry about noise complaints around these parts.
God damn it.
is a realistic climbing sim where survival depends on planning. Here is everything you need to know to summit Mount Cami without falling. Don't just do the basics. Complete all 8 walls in the training gym. Walls 4 through 8 are optional, but provide a reward box with an extra piton. Before leaving, loot the coins near wall 2 for the vending machine and grab the empty water bottle. Vending machine items provide various buffs, so check your inventory to see which suits your style. Immediately go to settings and enable hold feedback. This displays a square indicator when a grip is solid. Never guess. Keep at least 2 to 3 limbs on solid holds at all times. Use the right click to cancel a bad limb placement before committing. For difficult sections, hold space for manual limb selection to choose exactly which arm or leg moves next. Use your 3 key for flashlight in dark or shadowed areas. Press tab for a zoomed out route review to spot ledges and cracks. Find water in streams, ponds, and rock cracks. You can also refill bottles directly from the tent at bivouacs. Pure water goes in bottles, but your canteen should hold your best infusions. The canteen is mapped to the 1 key for quick access during a climb so you don't have to stop. Recipe tip: mix water and honey for sweet water. Then add juniper. Sweet items provide a burst buff. Combining 3 ingredients yields the best results for energy and hydration. Backpack and resource management. If your bag is full, shake it to reorganize. If it's still full, compost trash to create chalk. Chalk increases grip and slows down fatigue. Never discard piton scraps. 2 scraps can be forged into a new piton at any bivouac. Bivouac hubs. Bivouacs are survival hubs. Stop at every single one to rest, cook, repair gear, and craft pitons. Check the barometer inside the tent. It predicts weather 15 seconds in advance. If the needle moves from rain to sun, wait 15 seconds before heading out. Reading stamina. There is no UI bar. Watch Ava. Heavy breathing means low energy. Shaking limbs means exhaustion or a bad hold. Quivering fingers mean an imminent fall. Always set a piton before your fingers start quivering. Gear upgrades and secrets. Exploration is mandatory. Side paths contain maps. These provide color-coded difficulty routes. Indestructible pitons. These never break. Glowing gloves, essential for night climbing. Common mistakes to avoid. Avoid shortcuts. They drain resources faster than safer, longer paths. Don't ignore surface cracks. Smooth surfaces are much harder to grip. Most importantly, don't skip bivouacs or forget to place pitons. If you fall, you only lose progress back to your last piton. Modes and FAQ. Story mode follows Ava's 10 to 15 hour journey. Expedition mode unlocks after the story. Choose between Ava or Marco and select Alpine or free solo styles. Difficulty. You can adjust this in the settings at any time. Saving. The game autosaves at bivouacs and every time you place a piton. Multiplayer. Cairn is single player only, though you can share expedition results. Fast travel. There is none. Yes.
You must climb every inch. Conclusion. Climb slowly, use your chalk, and always carry enough pitons. Mount Cami is a challenge, but with these tips,
Welcome back to another episode of Before You Buy, the show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. There's just something about climbing stuff in video games that's viscerally satisfying. Going up in a game just feels good, right? Half your time in an Uncharted game is spent climbing. Breath of the Wild wouldn't be as fun if Link couldn't monkey crawl all over the place. There's just something pure about seeing something high up and going there. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today, Cairn. Lately we've been getting more games dedicated specifically to climbing. All that other boring stuff like shooting and dungeon crawling, it's being jettisoned for the simple act of pulling yourself up some steep cliff. Video games are about repetition and repeating on some central mechanic in new and interesting ways. So mountain climbing, specifically the free solo kind of climbing where it's just you and a vertical wall, it's really a good thing for a game. It works. Stuff like Jusant, Peak, Insurmountable, these all have their own unique mark that they've made on this growing subgenre of games. And today, we're looking at Cairn. This is the latest from the game makers, the guys who did Fury. That was a hard-as-balls boss rush game, and Cairn, at least in theory, should be a lot more easygoing and chill. I mean, it's just you and a mountain. Nobody's trying to kill you. No bullet hell going on here. How tense can it be? The pre-release material made Cairn look like a Zen-like experience, but let me tell you, it is not. Cairn is basically baby steps, except you're moving vertically instead of horizontally. And before we get into what exactly I mean by that, I gotta quickly ask you to click subscribe. Most of you who are watching are not subscribed, so it's a good time to do exactly that. It helps us out a ton, and we hope it helps you see some stuff you want to see. Thanks for clicking subscribe. Let's get on with it. Cairn, this game is tense as hell. It starts off rough, and it only gets more nerve-wracking from there. If you're going into this thing thinking it's going to be like Jusant, let me dissuade you from that notion immediately. Cairn is brutal. It is perhaps more brutal than Fury, depending on your disposition. If you're that kind of person who likes to rush Cairn, it is going to be infuriating because it demands careful, cautious, deliberate action. One wrong move will kill you, and if you die, it's possible to lose up to a half an hour of progress. It's gonna be frustrating. There are certain moments in this game when it is hard to tell why exactly you slipped here but not here, and after a while, that sort of inconsistency kind of feels like it's part of the experience. If you do play carefully, there's not a lot to worry about. A slip isn't the end of the world as long as you're properly setting pinions so there's no danger of falling to your death. The temptation is always there to push on and overextend yourself, and you're going to be kicking yourself for screwing up if you do that. What I'm saying here, this is a challenging game, a very challenging game even, but it's not just the climbing mechanics that keep it tense, it's also the constantly draining meters and resource management, which is always putting you on a time crunch. And time crunch makes you feel like you gotta move faster. The game is nice enough to give you a breather after tough climbs with a more open exploratory location, but that's only enough to keep the game from being unbearably tense. It's challenging, it is repetitive, it's honestly even kind of exhausting, but it's also really good if you have the grit to persevere, that is. It is not a game for everybody. I just want to say that I don't think everybody is going to like this game. But if it clicks with you, it's really going to click with you. For that group of people, there's a lot to like here, starting with the mechanics. The basics of climbing are very simple, deceptively so. You have 4 limbs, you move them individually in sequence to climb. When you approach your wall, you move your hand, then your other hand, then your foot, then your other foot. To get anywhere, you got to remain balanced. You got to have a firm hand or a foothold, or both. Like just putting your hand or foot on smooth rock isn't going to work. You need to find something to grip onto, and most of the time, there is something to grip onto. There are circumstances that exist in which you can get away with an unstable hold if your other appendages have more firm footing. So there is a lot of room for error here. How well you can hold on to surfaces depends on the type of rock or weather conditions you have. There's wind speed, there's other factors like hunger, thirst, morale. And yes, there are survival game mechanics here. They make a deceptively large amount of difference when it comes to your climbing performance as well. If you're hungry and thirsty, your stamina runs out faster, your grip is not as firm, you're more likely to make mistakes. So keeping your meters topped up is an absolute priority. For a character that's supposed to be an experienced climber, you start this journey with literally almost nothing. A measly little water bottle, some chocolate, a few climbing supplies, spare pinions, chalk. To survive, you have to depend on water sources and whatever bits of food you can find from abandoned packs or rare natural food sources to uncover, like fish, edible plants, things like that. Water is an absolutely essential resource here. It's not just something you need to drink. It's also necessary for most cooking, which you're going to need to do if you want to keep your hunger meter full. All in all, the survival mechanics, they're not that intrusive. They're pretty straightforward, but they do give you more to think about besides just climbing. And climbing is not like the simplest thing you're ever going to do in your life. But I have to say, it's good that there's a reason to explore. Like, you have to go figure out what to do when your resources get low, because that tension starts ratcheting pretty hard. The only real negative I have about the survival stuff is that certain foods give you status buffs that make it easier to go climb on something, but these buffs really have short timers. On what is an otherwise really deliberate game, like getting a 2-minute buff is kind of worthless if you've got 30 seconds left by the time you actually get to the place you want to climb. It is all very gamey though, and like, I mean that in the best way. The chalk you can apply makes you grippier for a limited amount of time, so you can grab ledges, that kind of thing. I like those kinds of mechanics. I'm glad that they're here. On its own, the game would have felt a little slight without the additional inventory management and extra tools and stuff. The most obvious concession that this is a video game comes in the form of this personal climbing robot, which can be used to instantly deploy a tent and retrieve your batons when they're left behind. Having a robot doesn't make a lot of sense with the solitary nature of the journey, but it's helpful to have around, except for the rare time it gets stuck when you're trying to retrieve your batons. That makes it so you're stuck waiting and watching and desperately try to get around some obstacle for a few minutes. It's annoying. It's, I guess, not that big of a deal, but you don't actually get your batons back. They're kind of a rare and precious resource, so, I mean, it can be a bit of a hindrance. Like in something like Jusant, the baton allows you to make an artificial safe spot for yourself. When you use one, you can restore your stamina, access your bag. The danger with deploying these things is they take a bit to get out. You have to play a little mini game where you hit the middle sweet spot on this meter, or it can be damaged, or worse, not work. And there's also just the chance that it won't work for no reason. There's moments you just cannot get a decent grip. You're about to fall. A baton's your last chance to survive, but it's too late. At least your body gets the ragdoll treatment. So even though you lost a bunch of hard-fought progress, you do get to see your body flop down the side of the mountain for a minute. That's fun. You may not be happy about it, but at least, like, it's fun. Ragdoll is fun. It's a reason why Grand Theft Auto 4 is so funny when you hit things. Anyway, with most climbing games, what you can and cannot climb on is pretty obvious. The rules are pretty clearly defined, but not in Cairn. There will be moments where it seems like you're in good shape. Your character just loses grip anyway. With other parts, you feel like there's no way. The food, water, and morale meters combined with the invisible stamina only add to the vagueness of the climbing mechanics. And, I mean, it all ends up just being something you have to develop a feel for. Because what starts off as confusingly slow it starts making sense after experimentation. The important thing to keep in mind, keep a steady balance, don't overextend at any one body part. Your hands, more often than not, need to have a stable grip. Your feet are necessary for reaching higher areas, because you can only boost yourself as high as your legs will allow. It all sounds a little confusing, but in practice, climbing's actually pretty intuitive. I compared it to baby steps, but I mean that only literally. From the perspective of somebody actually engaging in one of these games, it's a lot more intuitive than baby steps. Like, for such a complex system, it's really impressive how rarely I ran into problems. Sure, sometimes uneven terrain, you got a hand or a foot somewhere it's not supposed to go, but with a little waggling, it generally works. There is a story. It's not much to write home about. There's little notes and bits of world building you find climbing the mountain, and they're more interesting than the personal drama of the main character. It is cute that they try to have some kind of dramatic arc here, but I never really found the writing that interesting, at least with the human characters. The lore of the mountain, however, pretty engaging. There's actually a surprising amount of stuff to find off the beaten path, and if you put in a little extra effort, these optional locations are generally rewarding, not just with lore, but a special trinket or some supplies or something, so don't pass up on them. Visually, that's not going to knock your socks off or anything. You've been looking at it this whole time. It's not, like, astounding. It's got some nice vistas. Generally looks pretty decent. The massive scale of the mountain is impressive, but, I mean, the graphics are mainly functional. They don't stand out a whole hell of a lot. There's also a little awkwardness to the world, especially the animation. Sometimes, after falling, you just teleport straight back to your feet. Or, let's say you try to remove yourself from a ledge. It causes you to eject from the wall at an uncomfortable speed. Stuff like this makes some of the climbing parts feel maybe needlessly dangerous. Like, there's parts when your character is in danger of falling over on essentially flat terrain. That's kind of weird that the game doesn't recognize that you're not on a wall, but you're somehow still climbing. These sort of situations are few and far between, but they can happen, and they reveal some of the limitations of the climbing system. Most of the time works very well, very intuitive, feels very good, but you're going to find edge cases where it's not great. Ultimately, though, this game really does capture the thrills of climbing in a way I don't think any other game I've played has. It's super intense, it's laborious, at times it is terrifyingly difficult, but it is so satisfying when you finally get past the dicey looking climb and reach the next ledge. The survival mechanics add a little bit of needed depth to the game, keeps things interesting, mixes it up, and honestly, it's nice that while you're spending a lot of your time looking at gray rocks, there are plenty of things that are open and give you a nice refreshing view of something. For $30, I'd definitely recommend Cairn to anybody who's enjoyed other climbing games or someone who is not afraid of a brutal challenge. It might take a while to figure out if the game works. It definitely takes a while to figure out what the game wants from you, because it's not clear exactly what you're supposed to be doing all the time, but once you get the hang of the mechanics and the unusual controls, Cairn clicks. This game easily could have been a really unfun mess, but against all odds, they made it work. Not saying it's without its flaws. Anytime you dismount from a wall, it's a little terrifying, but for the most part, the game really works as intended, and it's a lot of fun to play. That's what I got to say about it. What do you think? Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, it's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. Join the 1% Club. That gets you access to the Falcon Show, which goes up Saturdays. It's a blast. We're having a ton of fun making it. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Game Ranks.
Hey Albert, this is Chris. So, do you ever respond to voicemail? We have no way to know your location.
Come on. Pittons, please. Thanks. Yep, and I'll be the guide today. Hey, Climber. It's time for a fish pedicure. Gotcha. Oh, yeah! This should do. I'm not opening up a fish restaurant.
you.